2025 was a great year for boxing fans and boxing as a whole when we got great events such as David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde with a star-struck undercard with fighters like Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr., Bam versus Puma, and Abdullah Mason winning his first title against Sam Noakes. However, some cards were very controversial and very underwhelming, such as the Ryan Garcia and Rolly card with Devin Haney and Tio on the undercard. Three big stars in the sport of boxing that should have made a better event. And we got Canelo versus William Skull showing the downgrade in Canelo's opposition and willpower. However, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn was my first personal favorite fight. Very starstruck fight. This fight, all 12 rounds were really good, and the UK really showed out for this fight. And I believe this is fight of the year for 2025. However, the rematch wasn't as good, but this fight was a good end to the chapter between their fathers. But now I'll be giving you my top 5 fights I want to see in 2025. Roll the intro. I want to see Junto Nakatani versus Naoya Inoue in Japan. Both of these fighters fought on the same card in December, alluding to them having a future bout. In May, both promoters in Saudi Arabia, Turki Al-Sheikh said that he will make the fight, and the ambassador of Ring Magazine, Versace, said that this will be a great fight to make on a Riyadh season card. Now, Inoue versus Picasso was a great fight. I believe Inoue beats Junto Nakatani after this performance, after beating the taller opponent and the more lengthy opponent, very emulating Junto Nakatani's style, being a southpaw. No, wait, he's not even a southpaw. Nah, Picasso's not a southpaw. However, Picasso was a great opposition to someone to emulate Junto Nakatani's style. I believe Inoue is in his prime. He's like on the same level as Terrence Crawford and Usyk right now, and he's pound for pound number 1. I believe he beats guys like Bam, Junto, and a lot of other people. In 2026, though, I would like to see 2 fights between him and Bam and Junto Nakatani. While Junto Nakatani moved up to 126 or 122, I think it's 126 that he moved up to, and he had a great couple first rounds, but towards the end of the fight, I believe he started to fade and his vulnerability showed a lot. And now I believe Inoue beats him. However, it's still going to be a great all-action Japanese fight. And I have Inoue beating him by 5th round. Well, not 5th round stoppage, but I have him winning, maybe decision, because I believe Junto Nakatani is very durable as an opponent. Now, for my number 4 pick, I would like to see 3 fighters get into the ring with each other and mix it up. And that will be the businessman Keyshawn Davis fighting Richardson Hitches, the IBF 140-pound champion, and moving up to welterweight and fighting Devin Haney. The winner will fight Devin. Now, Keyshawn Davis will be fighting Jermaine Ortiz on the Shakur Teo undercard. And I believe Keyshawn beats Jermaine Ortiz, but it will be a very all-action fight. Now, Keyshawn Davis hasn't been in the ring since he won his WBO belt and outside problems outside the ring. I don't really like to talk about boxers' problems outside the ring. I just like to talk about the fighter themselves, because your actions don't really define you as a person. Well, as a fighter, it doesn't really define you. But sometimes the bias against certain things that fighters do outside the ring is like, it's kind of unfair towards the fighter's skill. I think Keyshawn Davis is a really good fighter, and he put on a great show. However, Richardson Hitches also reminds me a lot of Devin Haney. I see Richardson Hitches, bro, he's literally a 160-pounder going down to 140. Like Richardson Hitches is huge. He reminds me of Devin Haney a lot. He kind of looks bigger than Devin Haney, like naturally, like more wide shoulders and everything. He's pretty big, but I see Keyshawn Davis and Richardson Hitches being a great fight. I see Keyshawn Davis beating Richardson Hitches by majority decision. And Devin Haney beat Brian Norman Jr. I believe Devin Haney will make a good scrap with any one of those fighters. I see Devin Haney fighting both of them because Devin Haney fights everybody. Now for my number 3 pick, I want to see a unified champion at 154. There's a lot of great champions already there, like Fedor, Bakram, and Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas will be unifying the division with the WBA champion and the WBO. I also want to see Boots versus Virgil Ortiz fight. Charlo versus Keith Thurman as a wild card with a history of being PBC's first couple of fighters, and Bakram versus Fedor, a very great all-action-packed fight. Chef's kiss division, man. Now, my number 2 pick, I would like to see Gervonta Davis back in the ring versus the winner of Tio and Shakur. Now, Gervonta Davis has been out the ring ever since the Lamont Roach draw, and he's been having legal troubles, but I won't really speak on the legal troubles out of respect for everybody involved in the situation due to me being ignorant about the situation. However, I like to see him fight against Lamont Roach once again at 140. I think it would be all action fight and move up at 140 and fight either a champion like Pitbull Cruz or Gary Antoine Russell, the WBA champion. Pitbull Cruz isn't a champion, by the way. But Shakur and Tio at 140 is a great fight. I would like to see the winner versus Tank. Tio is a great fighter. Shakur is a great fighter. And I think Shakur wins. Now, these are some fights that I'll have in my part 2 and the runner-up. Let me know if you guys want to see it. Charlo versus Plant will be a great fight. AJ versus Fury, all action-packed heavyweight bout. And I want to see a unified 140-pound champion. Let me know if y'all want the part 2. Now for my number 1 pick, it shouldn't come as a surprise for anybody, but I would love to see Dimitri Bivol versus David Benavidez as my number 1 pick. David Benavidez fought against Anthony Yard at 175. And I believe that David Benavidez is a great contender at 175. And he's also champion, WBC champion. And it's going to be crazy if we don't see him against Arthur Beterbiev or Dimitri Bivol. And Beterbiev is injured. And also Dimitri Bivol also was injured with a hand injury. So I want to see them fight. They have history sparring when David Benavidez was younger. But Benavidez said he's going to move up to cruiserweight to fight Ramirez. So if he comes back down, I would love to see him fight Dimitri Bivol. Dimitri Bivol is a great fighter, but I want to see him fight Beterbiev one more time before the fight and then eventually make the fight towards the end of the year. 175 is stacked. Every division is stacked. I just want to see all the good fights. Now, thank you all for being patient on this video. It's kind of hard to talk in front of the camera and just keep talking without really a script. I'm just kind of going off of my head and how I feel, but I want to make more videos like this. It's kind of hard because I'm kind of nervous and camera shy, so it's better to be behind the camera instead of on camera for me. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be making a part 2 shortly. Make sure you like and comment and subscribe on the video. And let me know if I should do more videos like this. I'm thinking about doing a tier ranking video. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe once again. Peace, y'all.